Gonna give it a couple minutes, let some people come in. Let's see, let me alert them. Let's see. Wrong button. There we go. Hi, Tara and Susan and Judy. I am just letting the groups know that we are live because Tuesday is not our normal night to go live. There we go. All right. Hi, Louise. There's Pat. Okay, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing better. I wasn't feeling well over the weekend. Hey, Marianne. Let's go ahead and play the intro, guys, and we will get started. Okay. So tonight, hey Hill, that's Gerald there for those of you who don't know. Connie's here, yay! Connie, you made it. Connie, did you get my message on Patreon, I hope? I think that was the file you were looking for. If not, we'll sort it out after the live tonight. That's okay, Susan. You can watch it back later. This is going to be a really quick tutorial. We're just going to cover a couple of quick things on Design Space. One of those being the file number for you guys for tonight, because I am not putting this up. This is a super simple, easy to recreate file that all of you can create super, super, super easy. And this is the knotted earring file. But for those of you who want it, let me put it up here where we can see it on screen and make it sizable where it can be seen. I don't know why it stretches those out so largely, but it does. Let's go to a 10. There we go. It's file number 190171631. And you guys can get that. I will add it, as a matter of fact, into the video below in the description for those who want it. As soon as this live is over. I don't think it will let me do it at this particular moment, so we're gonna kind of hold off on that. But I will put it after the stream ends. But you can pull it up by that number. And of those of you who are new and don't know that, if you're on the web version, you can go to this web link, design.cricut.com/hashtag/design/ and then you can put the number in there and pull that up. This is super simple, super easy to create, but I wanted to cover where I saw a lot of questions in the groups where people are like, how do I change color? How do I do that on the mat? When you open a file and it's one solid color, I'm just going to get rid of this so it doesn't go to the mat with us. And you hit make it, and you want to do that on 2 different colors. There are several ways to do that. I have seen a lot of people saying, how do I split it up? You can do it one here. If your image is grouped, like I have this one right now, when you select, you can select on one in the layers panel and come over here to the color, and you can change the color of just one of them, okay? Or you can come up here to color sync if you want it all the same color, and you can drag and drop and make them all the same color. So there's a couple of different ways, like I said, and that is one, just by selecting it in the layers panel. If it's grouped and you select it, you're going to select both. But if you select right in the layers panel, you're not selecting the whole group. You can see it's not gray there. It's because I'm only selecting the one, and then I can change the color of the one. So that's one way. Another way is once you get over to the Make It screen, when you're doing something like earrings and you're doing them in pairs, if you're doing 10 pair, you probably don't want to duplicate it over there on that screen because that will bog down your file because you're filling it up. The best thing to do is right here where it says project copies is changing the number of copies. Okay, and then you can apply it, and that's going to do 10 sets. But right now I'm doing 10 of 2 different colors. If you forgot to change it over on the other screen, you can change it right here. You can click on one of them, all of them, however you want to do it. You have to do it one at a time though. And you can move it to another mat, and you can change the color of that mat. So you can split this up and do this any way you want. You can do it on screen, or you can do it on the mat screen. Super easy and super simple to do. If you've got too many, or there's pieces that you sent to the mat, like if I had sent over that design number, let me just show you. We'll put that back in there. And let's just say that I forgot to hide that before I sent it over to the mat. And let's make it a size that we know will work, because 27 inches isn't going to work. Let's just say I forgot to hide that, send it over to the mat. I don't want to cut that. All I have to do is click on it here on the mat and hide the selected. It's going to remove it so that when I hit continue, that mat disappears. So there are several things that you can do over on this mat screen. Don't be scared to go in there and play and fiddle around and do things, because unless you hit the load and the cut button on your machine, it's not going to do anything. So there are things you need to come in here and play around. If you have a Maker or an Explorer, does not matter. If you have an Explorer machines, set your dial on custom and leave it there. Get in the habit of just selecting your materials here. And you can see I don't have many materials in here. I cleared out a lot of my popular materials. These are always going to be here in popular. These are the ones that are most popular at Cricut, and they've got those in here. Here's your vinyl, your everyday iron-on, your cardstocks, your heavy fabrics, your infusible inks. All of that's always going to be there. But in your favorites, when you hit browse all materials, it's going to bring up all the materials for the machine you're using. So if you're in the Explore family machines, only the Explore family materials are going to show up. If you're on a Maker, only your Maker materials are going to show up. If you're on a Maker and you're mobile and it uses the knife blade, your knife blade materials will show up, but they're going to be grayed out. So you can't select them because you cannot use your knife blade on mobile at this time. So whatever material you're cutting, you can come in here and you can search, and you can go through all these lists, and they are done color-coded bars. You can see here your papers. Your fabrics are in pink. Guys, I don't know about you, but I kind of look at that as which mat I use. But it's different headings. You know, we're getting into the purples. Here's your aluminum foil. That would be a blue mat. And that's the way I kind of separate mine out. So I don't know that that's exact. Down here, these get into the leathers, and I call those my purple mats, all of these heavy ones. So I wish they would color code them exactly as to what mat those bars, but they are actually color coded to types of materials. Okay, so that's what those do. You've got here again, you've got this green bar and you've got all these papers. So they're separated out just like that. And here you've got this one. These are all your plastics. Then we get into more blues down here. So there's really no rhyme or reason, but you can find everything in there by scrolling, or you can use the little search bar here. So if I was doing suede, I could type suede and it's going to bring up everything that has suede in there. And then you know which one to select. So I'm just going to select done. And if you want to make it a favorite, you can click a star right here. And the C beside it means it's a Cricut material. Without the C, it means it is not. And I'm just going to mark that one because just to show you, because I can come back in here and take it off. And then I can go back. I'm going to cancel that and say yes. And then when I go back to my materials, it should pull up and I should have a secondary suede in there. I removed them so I could show you guys. I'm probably going to have to go back out and come back in all the way. But you can set your favorites just by doing all of that. Let me cancel. There we go. Now maybe if I go back over there, hopefully I didn't click off of it. Just going to hit continue. Hey Jamie. Nope, I just didn't. I know it didn't replace my populars. Let's go back over there and do it again. Let's pick one that's not close. We'll just do this one here. I'm going to click favorite. And do I have to say okay maybe? Nope. Nope. It should do it just by clicking on it. Then I can click out. There it is. It was just being slow. I must have clicked off of it. But you can see once you put that star on there, it's in there. And then, of course, I can go in there and remove that material and take it off. So, does anybody have any questions about using the matte screens to change color, to pick your materials, to apply copies? There's one other thing that I wanted to show you, which I kind of did, but I didn't go into depth. Let me X out of there. If I wanted to move this image to another mat altogether, instead of just changing it or hiding it, I can select. Now I can put it on a totally new mat, different color if I want, or if I meant to make it a different color, I can bring it over there and move it. But then you have to reposition it because it's going to be in the position that it was on the mat you moved it from. But you can move things from one mat to another to a brand new mat. You can change the colors there, and again in your layers panel. Did anybody else have any other Design Space questions at all? Doesn't have to be on this. We're going to go ahead and go over to the overhead and make the earrings. But this is the file that I set up. If you don't like the hole being this big, use your contour and hide the holes. And once you hide that hole in the contour, I'm not going to save that because I'm going to make these back to the color I had them and save it. If you don't like the color of or the size of that hole, make sure you use your contour. You're going to ungroup. You're going to contour, and then you can hide those holes and put your own holes in there. I did these with the curve on them. The ones that I did in my photos are just mock-ups that I did. And you can make any shape on this end that you want for whatever type earring that you have. And I'm about to show you guys that on the overhead. So let's go over there. And I forgot, so one of the moderators asked me about doing this earring. And I did a couple of them yesterday, and I used the faux suede. I did do a leather one. The one she showed me was done out of leather. And don't pay attention to mine. Mine's not long enough, okay? Because I couldn't find my full-size leather, and these were just the miniature sheets that I had from Cricut. So I cut one out of it. These are going to be really nice if you have the full sheet where you can make this long enough, because I just hand trimmed it so I could get enough length on it. But these are the perfect length, Okay, and I did these in faux suede. And they're nice and lightweight, so you can do them out of the faux suede too, but I didn't like the unfinished underside. So I did use some scraps of iron-on I had. And I do mean scraps. I mean I had teeny tiny pieces of scrap foil that I kept. And you can do that simply by ironing it on and then cutting. Okay. And I just ironed it onto the back of my faux suede. This one has no holes in it. Okay. This is just one of the mock-ups that I did like these. This is another one, and I left it a little bit longer, and I just kind of hand trim the top. But all you do is simply tie a half knot. Okay. And then once you have that half knot, you're just going to bring that up, and you may have to adjust where your knot is. Super easy, super simple. Adjust where that knot is at. Then if you don't have a hole and you want to punch your hole, I'm using a crocodile. There are some small hole punches. I'm just going to punch it in there. Of course, you want to center it up. And then all I did was take my scissors and trim off and round it off how you want it. And then you're ready to put it on the earring. Now, of course, that was hand done, and it's not going to be perfect. But if you want it perfect, the file we just set up, which are these, that's what we're going to do. It's out of the same suede, and all I did was take a piece of the bronze the bronze foil from Cricut. I had a scrap of that, and I ironed it on, and then I put it on my Cricut, and I cut it. As a matter of fact, I had just a scrap piece, and I cut 4, but 2 of them, one of them just barely missed my foil, and one of them half missed it. But I just ironed that on the back and then cut them out. It was super simple, super easy. And again, all you're going to do, and if you want the foil to be on the outside, you can knot it that way. Totally up to you, and the suede inside. But I'm going to put the foil to the inside of mine. Just going to tie a half knot, and then I'm going to bring the 2 up. And like I said, your knot is a little bit more defined on the leather because it's a thicker, heavier material than it is on the suede, but I still like the look of the suede. But that's all you do. I'm just going to tie the other one up. And you'll want to make sure that you adjust your knot and get it like you want it before you put your finding in there. If you want these to stick together at the top, you can do that with some liquid stitch iron-on. I just put a little dot on these right here just to test it. I put a dot in there and ironed it down, and it stayed. You can use some of your sticky tapes, your glue, whatever you want to hold that in there. But all you're going to do after you've got that is put your jump ring right in there, thread it right on, like so. Hope you guys can see that. I've got it already opened up. Okay, just opened up my jump ring and stuck it on there. And I've got these little boogers are taped up so that I didn't lose them before this live, and I forgot to untape them, so let me just, it's a good way when you're doing your earrings, make sure you don't lose all your pieces. Got a sticky mat, just dump them out on a Cricut mat and let it hold them, and then decide how you want it to hang, and that's the way you're going to put that on there. And I couldn't find my jump ring open and closer, so I've just got some of my jewelry pliers here. Just going to put that on there, and then I'm just going to close up that ring. And there you go, guys. How pretty is that? I like the way that they hang. Really super easy, super simple, quick project. You can make these in very, very little time. So if you need a quick gift, go ahead and cut several up, have them ready to go. Do your little ornament boxes, jewelry boxes, earring cards, whatever you want. Make it look really, really nice. See if I can get this into position. And if you have one of those little rings with the slots in it, that's a jump ring opener. You can use those. I'm just going to put this on there. Again, put my finding on there for the way I want it to hang. And then I'm just going to close it back up. Super quick and easy. Simple, simple. That's the file number, 190171631. I am going to put the file number down into the description of the video as soon as we're done here. So, does anybody have any questions on, and like I said, you can do some really contrasting. I like the red and the silver. And I really like the brown with this, the brown suede with this bronze. That is so pretty. Yeah, it's super simple, super easy, Louise. And they're scraps. I mean, this piece got destroyed. I found it. It got hung in a drawer or something, and I found it. It was all crinkled up, and I'm like, I can't really put that on a shirt, but I can put that on the back of those earrings, and that's exactly what I did. And it flattened out. You couldn't even tell that it got messed up. So, as you can see, I mean, it went on there perfectly. But they are just total, just little bitty scraps that I had. I know a lot of you guys save all your scraps. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can get out of that, but I figured I could get maybe a name or something out of it for something. So I saved it, but I could get 2 earrings out of that easy. Because they're only a 1/2 inch wide. You can get 2 out of there super, super easy. Yeah, you can put pattern on the back of it. You can put a lot of stuff. Whatever your scraps are. Find you some faux suede that matches. You can put it on the back of the leather if you want. It'll go on the back of the leather. Now the foil might leave, because the back of your leather is a little rougher. So, but you could totally put some strip flock on this, guys, or glitter, and it wouldn't take on the texture of it. But your foil would take on the texture of your faux leather. And again, the little sheets, the miniature sheets, they're good for just the teardrop earrings. But for these, it's about a inch too short to make it the earring, because you can see how short that one is. I mean, I still like it. I'm not opposed to that. But if you want that knotted look, it needs a little bit more material up on it to get that knotted area for it to drop. And I did this one at, let's see, they're right at 7 inches. And this one I did at 6.5 so that you guys could see the difference. So it depends on the drop that you want as to how long you make those. You're a newbie, Sandy? That's okay, not a problem. When you go to, let's go over and show Sandy how to do that. Let me go back over. So Sandy, on this, I am on the web version. We also have, just going to go ahead and open it up. If you're clicking on the C on your desktop, let me pull that over as well so you can see. If you're clicking on the C on your desktop, it's going to open up in a box like this where you have no space bar at the top, okay? But if you go to design.cricut.com in your URL, I'm just going to leave the page. If you go to design.cricut.com in a URL, it's going to open up right there in design space. Okay. If you have the design number, which is the design number I gave you, you can come in here on any. I'm just going to select that right there. I can go to a totally new project. Okay. And I can click here. And where that word new is, I'm just going to take it out. And I'm just going to put that number in there. and it's going to open up. So I took out the word new, and I just put in the number, and it'll open up. Or if you have the whole link, you can just search that whole link. And there's the link Jamie gave you. If it'll let you click on it, then it'll open up in a web browser. Yes, Connie. Especially those teardrop earrings, if you want them to hang and straighten out just a little bit, if you put that iron on the back of them before you cut them, I personally think they cut better because I cut this with the fine tip blade. Now, this is not leather. This is the suede that I cut. This is the actual Cricut suede. Let's see. Yeah, there you go, Jamie. So, I mean, to me, it just hangs better. Let me take you guys back over to the overhead. But you can see it kind of stiffened this up a little and gave me the opportunity to iron it to make sure it was flat. Because this stuff was on a roll. I had it folded. So, I mean, it flattened it right out. And I found that it was just, I don't know, it just looked a little bit more finished to me to have that in there. And then you can also, they can be reversible too, you know, so. How long and wide are they? They are, I did these at a 1/2 inch, Sandy, right at 7 inches, but you can change the length. Let me show you guys how I made these, just in case you want to make some with a different shaped end. But all you're going to do for something like this is you're going to need a circle and a square, okay? And then you're going to take your square and you're going to unlock it. And this is, I just made it 6 inches long, okay? And then I went to my height and made it 0.5. Whatever your height is, that's what you want your circle to be. So I'm going to go and make it 0.5. And then I'm going to duplicate it. Okay? Then I'm going to duplicate it one more time. I'm just going to hold that one off to the side. I'm going to bring this one up, place it at that end. Bring this one up and place it at this end. And I'm just putting that crosshair right there at the end of the square. Then I'm selecting it all. I'm going to align it. And I'm going to center them vertically. And then weld. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make it whatever size I want the hole. And I did a 0.10. Let's just do this one at 0.5 and I'll leave it in there as well. So if you want a smaller hole on it, I'm going to make that at 0.05. Not 50. So now I've got that teeny tiny hole. Now I don't know how well your blade will turn on that. And I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm just going to change the color of those dots so that I can see them. Let me send that to the back. So now I can see those holes, and I'm just going to kind of figure out how far from the end I want them. And that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to select both holes. I'm going to align top. I'm going to weld them. Then I'm going to place this back here. I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to align, center it, and slice. And now I can get rid of those two holes, and the holes are already ready to slice in. You don't have to slice, you can attach, and same thing. So if you're making different lengths, you might want to attach. That way you can change it up. And this one's a little bit different. I apologize. I said 6 inches. I made that 7 inches. It was 7. 6.5, 7. But this came out when I was finished 6.972. I just did a guesstimation. This one's a little bit shorter if you guys want it. I'll leave it in the file. This is more along the lines of the red one. This gray one here. Let me just make them red so you guys can tell them apart. go to color sync. We'll just drag that one in and I'll save it. I really don't know what I used, Sandy. Those were just in a box. I had thrown them in a box. They were loose. But it probably is, I'm going to say it is a number 4. It might be a 3. It might be. I don't know. I'll be honest. I just don't know. I don't make enough jewelry to be able to eyeball it and tell. My aunt can, but I can't. I have all different sizes in that box, so I'm really not sure which one I used. But the ones that we actually put together tonight are 6.972 or 7 inches. You may as well say 7 inches by a half inch. The half inch wide is the same on all of them. And it's just going to depend on how close in you get your circles, if you get them exact or not. Because if you get them exact on a 6 inch, they're going to come out to 6.5. If you do it on a 6.5 inch and get them exact, it's going to come out to right at 7. So if you want to change that and make that a point, you can use a diamond on there. You can do any of those shapes that you want on the end of this. But I just kind of like the rounded myself. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Any project things you got going on that you forgot to ask? I promise I am getting those stockings done, hopefully tomorrow. I'll be finished with that video and I'll get that up for you guys. It's just been, I just got sick and couldn't do anything for a couple of days. I do too. I like the darker brown and that in there. I think they would be cute reversed too. But I do I think that either you need a smaller jump ring. Susan, you can see, I don't know if you can see that. You either need a smaller jump ring or you really do need to put some kind of adhesive in there and glue that top together, I think. Because it separates if you don't. But I did use the liquid stitch iron-on instant bond on that, but you can use Aleene's tacky. You could use whatever you have. I'm pretty sure art glitter would probably hold them together too. The new wall picks. I'm almost done, Gerald. I have 2 more signs to finish up, and as soon as I finish those signs, I will post those up. I got my Not a Creature with Stirring vinyl on the wall. I did do my, and you guys can go ahead and have this file too if you want it. I did get this one. I haven't finished cutting it yet, but I'm about to put it on my sign. Let's see. Now the brown area. What? I don't know what I'm doing. There, here we go. This, you don't want to cut the brown backing on this, guys, because that's the size of my sign. You're going to have to readjust this for your sign. So this I would actually hide. That's why it's saying incompatible. Because I have a sign that has 2 bars that go across the top of it. So this is all I'm actually cutting on it. But I figured I would leave that in there so that you guys could see what it looked like on a sign. But I have 2 bars that are raised up on top of that plank sign. And that design number is 188907510. If you guys want it to. But once I get that one finished, I have one other to do up, and then I will be taking new pictures with all of the Christmas stuff up. I have to finish the stockings too. So I have to get that done so I can get you guys the new pictures of all of that. I did get my tree up last week. All right, so if nobody has any other questions, we will be live again. Now, guys, I did mess up on the schedule. I thought my husband's party was last night, and since it was late when we discovered, I just went ahead and left tonight's on Tuesday. But his party is actually the 16th, so I have changed that. And we will be live again next Tuesday. And let's see, we're going to be... Tuesday and Thursday the next 2 weeks, and then I also have a Saturday coming for you guys this week. So we got 2 more lives this week. All right, if nobody has any other questions, I will catch you on Thursday. Not sure what we're going to do yet. I am thinking about doing an odd dimensional box for some goodies for you guys. So if I can get that finished up here with the stockings in the next day or 2, that's what we're going to do. Otherwise, I'll figure out something. But I'm thinking the box. We all need little boxes and stuff like that that you can put your earrings and stuff like that in. So that's what I am looking at. Yes, don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. See your name in lights. And we will catch everybody on Friday. Thank you to all my patrons, my Ko-fi supporters, my moderators. You guys are awesome. Thank you for covering for me the last couple of days while I was sick. I greatly appreciate it. And if you guys think of questions you forgot to ask while we were here, make sure you come to the group and ask them. Yeah, Connie, on that suede, I used the fine tip. I didn't even use my rotary. I just used the fine tip, and it cut perfectly fine. One pass. So, you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you on Thursday. Thanks for joining.